You got Mac and Mac. Jordan McDonald, John McMullen here with you on Birds 365. I could have Ian Cummings on once a week as far as I'm concerned. He's that good at breaking stuff down and knowing where players should be situated and ratings and their strengths and weaknesses. Just always enjoy talking draft with Ian when he comes on. And like I said, we got Damo scheduled to join us coming up in 15 minutes. He's coming back from an appointment, but we'll probably get him up at some point during the day. Jenny, let's get back to home a little bit more with the Philadelphia Eagles. People wondering why the Eagles had this massive drop-off after starting 10-1, and how the hell did the bottom fall out as badly as it did, and everyone wants answers and or to point fingers at what transpired and why it went bad, why it went downhill. One guy found out today that it's not his fault, and that would be Alberto.
Alberts, yes.
You and I both with the last two Eagle signings, guys from teams that played into the Super Bowl, didn't stay on their roster, became free agents because they weren't signed to future deals by the Chiefs and the 49ers. It made sense to us that this is where the Eagles do good work outside the margins, finding the guys who slip through the cracks and the like. It's one of Howie's specialties. And we'll see if either one of the two players they've signed can actually contribute to the team. Then there's the Albertos of the world. And I liked Alberto coming out of Missouri way back when he was in the draft, and he had a couple of okay years with the Broncos, and he had one massive preseason game. I think he had a 100-yard game in preseason.
Yeah, the big preseason game. Yeah,
it kind of grabbed the Eagle attention. He was there all year, and John, I got to give you a high five on this one. You tied him for a number of catches for the Philadelphia Eagles this year. You and he finished.
He got one more target than I did. Though.
Yeah, he beat you with targets, but catches for the 2023 Philadelphia Eagles, John McMullen, Alberto tied at 0. What? Because they gave some up to get him? Is that the line of logic here, that they had to swap a 6th for a 7th? That Howie feels committed on Alberto? What did he do this year that merits him coming back to this team, and the need to get it done before free agency actually starts?
I think it's one of those things. I don't think it's a big deal. Number one, I think they'll be able to get a. My assumption is, remember, they acquired him at the initial cut down to 53. So you're talking whatever it was, August 29th, 30th, whatever it was last year. So he wasn't with the team in the spring and training camp. He's still with Denver. So maybe they want to get a bigger look at him, an extended look, let him have a real spring and a real summer, and see if he can contribute. You mentioned it back in the draft. I mean, the guys. And you liked him coming out of Missouri. A lot of people did, because the guy's 6'5", 260, and he runs a 4.49. The guy's a physical freak. So that's always been the, hey, if he can put it together, he could really turn into something. And it never, he had a couple, as you mentioned, flashes with Denver, caught 54 balls over 3 seasons. So, he contributed to them a little bit more, certainly, than he did here. I think it's a situation where they want to see him, and they're not in love with Grant Calcaterra, obviously. And, maybe they sign somebody in free agency, maybe they draft somebody, and it becomes, and they just cut him. But, let him have the spring and let him have the summer. And if something clicks, you might have an upgrade at that backup tight end as a receiver. And that's what they've been looking for. So I don't think it hurts, but I'm a little bit surprised. I didn't think, everybody who does this, I saw a bunch of guys, everybody does their stay and go list after the season. Everybody had Albert going, everybody. Because they didn't use him. And they had, even when Dallas Goedert got hurt, he had, I got to look it up, 57 snaps on the season. That's it. And 32 of them came in one game. And that's it. They barely looked at him. They barely used him. So, he came in late. Maybe they want to look at, maybe Kellen Moore wants to look at him, and maybe Kellen Moore saw him from afar and said, "Yeah, I use tight ends. That dude can run. Um, let's see what he has." It's by no estimation that similar to those future signings. If they don't work, it's no big deal. You just, I'm sure he got the league minimum. You just cut him and move on.
Here's the only place where it can become a bigger deal, not become guaranteed. It's going to be a bigger deal. I'm not going out on that limb. Yeah, I still think there's a role for Calcaterra under the right offense. And last year's Eagles wasn't that offense, and they drafted him with the Eagle offense in place. So they either thought he was going to fit to it or it was going to fit to him. And I don't think it's been a perfect fit since. But I think the guy can both run routes and catch the football, which I'm sorry that I can find. I'll put it on my offensive coordinator to find a way to use a guy with those two talents. And I saw none of that out of Albert O. And it's been a couple of years. I know he put up some numbers in Denver, but I didn't get to see it with my own eyes. So I just am looking at numbers on a piece of paper. I saw it with Calcaterra. And this to me signifies Grant Calcaterra's got no chance to make this team. They're going to upgrade a tight end somehow, either via the draft or a free agent signing who's not making the veteran minimum like we're assuming Albert O is, which means there's not going to be a roster spot. And I like Calcaterra better than I do Albert O for this Eagle offense going into next year.
Well, they're not going to, I mean, he's still under his rookie deal. He'll have a chance to compete in the spring and summer, as I was talking about. So if he outplays him, but yeah, I don't think they think highly of Grant Calcaterra. I will say that. I think that's pretty evident as well. But I didn't think they thought highly of Albert O, and he's back. I got to look up. Grant had, let's see, Grant Calcaterra. Got to look at how many snaps he had. 120.
More than Albert, yeah.
Which, yeah, more than Albert, but he played consistently. So that's even more concerning to me. Like Albert only played in 4 games with those snaps. Calcaterra played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games. And the most snaps he got in one game was 18. 18. So
Did he play specials?
Yeah, I'm not talking about. Yeah, he does. I'm not talking about special team snaps. I'm talking about offensive snaps.
The reason I brought that up was you ran out how many games he played in as compared to how many games Albert played. Albert didn't play on special teams.
No.
So that's why Calcaterra would play in more games because he actually contributes on specials.
Yeah. He was one of the blockers for the kick returners. I know that. So he was one of the upbacks. They really don't have old school upbacks anymore because what they've done with the kickoff returns. But nonetheless, he was one of those guys. And, but as far as the offense goes, even they gave Albert the one extended look when Dallas Goedert was hurt. They didn't give that to Grant. So that's not a good sign, I would say. But they need to improve. I think Jack Stoll's fine as the backup sort of blocking tight end, but they need to improve behind Dallas Goedert because let's be honest, Dallas Goedert, the way he plays, we talk about it with Avonte Maddox, same thing with Dallas Goedert. He wins Kyle Brandt's Angry Run Award twice. Well, he also hurt himself doing it, and that's 2 consecutive years. Now, the year prior, he got pulled down by his face mask. That's bad luck, but he gets hurt because he plays kind of violently. So, if you need to replace him for 3-4 games, which has been the case over the past 2 seasons, you'd like to have somebody who can give you a little bit more. And I think the Eagles are searching for that.
All right. One other thing I want to run by you before we get our buddy Paul Domwich up here. Your friend and mine, Derek Klassen, I asked you about Derek a couple of weeks ago. Remember, we brought him up from the 33rd. He is
Oh, he was
supposedly
the
33rd team.
quarterback
Yes,
guy.
the
Yeah.
quarterback guru of the 33rd team, Derek Glasson, who had
I
Jalen
forgot.
Hurts
I had
ranked.
already forgot. I didn't know where you were
Oh,
going.
I got a piece of paper right here that I will keep next to me all season long, where Anthony Richardson is rated ahead of Jalen Hurts from number 16 to number 17.
That really is absurd.
And
I
Brock Purdy is number 18, coming off a Super Bowl appearance where John McMullen said if he plays clean, they can win the game. He played clean, and they still didn't win the damn game. But he's got Purdy
had a
behind
chance,
Hurts
though.
at number 18. They did have a chance, and Purdy played well enough for them to win that game. Derek Klassen at it again. He's ranked all 32 play callers in the National Football League from 1 through 32. I'm
already pissed off by that.
Okay. We're gonna bookend this thing. Who do you think is number one?
Kyle, I would think.
Kyle Shanahan is his number one. Who do you think is number 32?
Well, I assume the new guys don't count.
Oh no, he's got some new guys in there.
Oh, well then I'd have to.
And this is not a new guy.
Not a new guy.
Was new last year, so he's in his second year of play calling responsibilities.
So it's not Brian Johnson who got fired.
No.
I don't know.
That would be the play caller for the New York Jets. Nathaniel Hackett is number 32.
That's that's got more to do with Denver, I imagine. But
whatever it has to do with, he is number 32. Jets, 32nd at last in the National Football League.
But Aaron Rodgers should be the 32nd, but he didn't get to play.
He's going to be the whisperer in the ear for Nathaniel Hackett, and might be able to get him out of 32nd place. Truthfully, I don't have a problem with either two of those rankings. The Eagles have a new play caller, John McMullen. Kellen Moore will be calling plays for the Philadelphia Eagles this year. Where do you think he's got Mr. Moore ranked?
Coming off last year, which wasn't great, I'm going to say 14th.
You need to go a little bit lower than that.
Lower?
Lower, as in backwards.
Wow. That bad, huh?
14
17th.
would be the top half. He would be in the bottom half. 17th is also a little bit high. Man. He's got Kellen Moore ranked as the 19th best play caller coming into the season.
Yeah, I don't.
The only thing that makes me feel good about this is Cliff Kingsbury, 26th, who the Eagles also wanted to hire, and I wanted no part of. I hope you're right about that one, Derek. That Cliff Kingsbury is this fascination and fantasy where he doesn't actually
judge play callers. I mean, I come on.
Results. You judge the results, and that's fine.
Which is fine, but then judge offensive coordinators. Don't judge you're putting the term play calling like
Mike McCarthy is the play caller. He's not the offensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. He's the head coach / play caller. And oh, by the way, he's rated ahead of Kellen Moore.
All right. Well, then make up a term. Offensive chief.
Play callers. It is what it is. I comprehend what he was. Those that he was trying to rank. Those who call plays on Sundays. I don't have a problem with his grouping or definition of what he's trying to use. I just think that Kellen Moore hasn't done enough to be.
Well, I guess
top half of the league.
As long as he's not judging. All right, if you just want to use the title and you're judging the best overall, coordinator or guy who runs an offense, yeah, that's fine. But if you're actually judging, if you claim you're actually judging play calling, I have a problem with it. So it kind of depends again.
Why would you have a problem with it?
Because you don't know the play call. It's impossible to know. Again, You can have the best play call, and I've had this discussion with Doug Peterson, or you can have the worst play call, and somebody saves your ass, and you look like $1 million, and you can have the best play call, and a left guard misses a block, and you look like a you-know-what. You can't you're judging play results. Which
Yes,
we talk
that's
about all the
exactly what
time.
you're doing. You're judging
Yes.
play results.
That's all I'm saying. So,
and you
if
don't,
you-
I don't have a problem with that. Apparently you do. I got no problem judging the results.
well, that's fine, but judge the results. Don't say, oh, blah, blah, blah is a bad play caller. Judge blah, blah, blah had bad results, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Which is fine. That I'm fine.
yeah, I got no problem with that. And I just think he's got Kellen Moore a little low. He's McMullen on McDonald. He is back. He's back from the doctor. He lives. Glad to see it. No, I wasn't sure we were going to have him, but we got him. And he's got a cool shirt on. Paul Domwich, 3013, JAKIBsports.com up next here on Birds 365.
Go to get your